social slime, they don't matter, genocide. Sick from water, sick from air, making money, they don't care. Caesar shit, force them air, fuck them back, it's only for they bomb. They shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape, they burn the kids. No one makes countries laugh to your face, fight and die, 'cause God forgives. Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower class and social side, they don't matter, genocide. Sick from water, sick from air, making money, they don't care. See their shit, force a bear, fuck them back, that's only fair. They bomb, they shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape, they burn the kids. No one makes countries lie to your face, fight and die, 'cause God forgives. Yeah. Coming back around again.
Okay, welcome to the show, everybody. This is your host, Ron Stevens. It's a Can Live. It's Thursday night, November the 26th, 2015, and I don't know if it's Turkey Day, Turkey Day in the States today or tomorrow or what. You know, I was on, what? Tomorrow's Turkey Day? Thanksgiving in the United States. Let's do it this way. Thanksgiving, how about Thanksgiving in America? Screw the United States, screw the corporation, screw Canada, the corporation, screw all the damn corporations, because they got our butts tied down. You know, happy Thanksgiving to all those good people in America. So you got Black Friday going on too, eh? Everybody's getting big screen TVs for, excuse me, real cheap money. And I hope nobody listening to this show runs out and stands in line or gets pushed against the doors as those crazy screaming consumers push to get all the goodies, all the Black Friday goodies that they always want to chase. I've become almost a non-consumer, you know. One, I don't have any money left to consume anything or to buy anything really, but beside that, even if I did, I wouldn't. I almost get sick when I go into a big. I don't go into big box stores much. I don't go anywhere really. Work and here, and research. But you know, I get almost like a queasy feeling when I walk into a store. The mom and pop stores, for all intents and purposes, have been obliterated off the freaking face of the earth, or at least in the West. You know, it's big box or go home. And if you ever ask somebody in a big box store for some help, they kind of look at you, what? You know? And I haven't been in a Walmart in years. And that particular place really freaks me out because it shows me just how dumbed down the people have become. It is freaky, to me anyways, absolutely freaky. Try to have a conversation with some of these people, man, it'll freak you out. I'd be better off talking to a squirrel. Probably get a more intelligent conversation with a squirrel than I do with these people hanging out at the big box places. And, you know, I'm up in a rural area, and, you know, when you go to a Walmart up here, they're... you know, kind of rural people, and really freaks me out because I always have like a Tim Hortons or a McDonald's or something stuck right in the Walmart. I know the one up the road here. You walk in and there's a fast food joint when you walk first in through the doors. I thought you're going in the store to buy something, not to. Well, we can do everything there. We can eat and shop. Whoop whoop whoop! Hot damn! Do you get the flyer? I got the flyer. There's some really good stuff that we don't need. It's on sale though, so we should go buy it. We'll get a burger while we're there. It'd be wonderful. We'll get a Tim Hortons coffee and a Timbit. Just brilliant stuff. I got a real hate out for Tim Hortons. And if you're not American, or if you're not Canadian, you may probably not even know what a Tim Hortons is. It's our Tim Horton was a hockey player way back when, and started up a donut shop, and then it got franchised, and then I think it was bought out by, who bought it out? Wendy's, Burger King, somebody bought it out, and so that became Canada's coffee shop because we like hockey, and Tim Horton was a hockey player. And we like our coffee, and apparently we just love our donuts. So they capitalized on that, and now you have these people hanging out at Tim Hortons all the time and going through the drive-thru to get a Timmy's. Now, if I could find that video, I'd stick it in the chat. I made a video. I actually called Tim Hortons head office several years ago. That's when I used to go to Tim Hortons. And I was going into the store, and there's a big sign on the front door, Earth Hour. Earth Hour. What the hell are these clowns pushing Earth Hour for? That's a UN agenda. The hell's going on here? So I went to their website, and I got rooting around into their, because all corporations have a green tag somewhere in there, a green link, and the Sustainable Development link. So I got in there, and I found a link there, and David Suzuki was on here. There was a bunch of pictures on there. David Suzuki and a woman, Victoria Serta, who lives in the next town up from me, who was running around. She's actually so proud of herself. She was running around pushing that film, or showing that film, and commentating the film. Inconvenient Truth. Now, according to her, she's been personally trained by Mr. Al Gore. And so she was running around spewing off fear-mongering, showing the Al Gore movie in all the local theaters. Now, she ran as a Green Party member in 2007 when I ran as an independent. And all of these people who are, she says she was personally trained by Al Gore, are freaking lunatics. There's no other way to describe them, right? Like, it's like cult. It's like cult. It's like Scientology or some kind of weird cult. I don't know how they get in these people's brains and get them to believe what they believe, and then set them loose, spewing the propaganda around all over the place. But anyways, she's also a patron of a global population trust, I think it is, which is saying that the whole environmental movement is about saving the planet. The only way you can save the planet is reduce CO2. The only way you can reduce CO2 is to reduce the population. So that is your environmental movement in a nutshell. The only way to save the environment is to, get rid of a pile of you. And so she's a patron of this outfit, which one of their head people threatened to sue me some years ago. But when I told them to bring it on, they backed out because they knew they ain't got nothing to stand on. It's just all bull crap all the time. And when they call you, you just say thank you. I know people get nervous. They go, well, they're threatening to sue me. Well, that's great. Let them sue you. Let them get out. Let's get them out in the open. But they didn't sue me. They had, but they didn't. I wish any of these clowns would sue me. I mean, I've said enough nasty things about them. I mean, I thought maybe I put that on Trudeau's site, for God's sakes. He's the PM. You know, I had a picture of Trudeau and Kathleen Wynne, who's the Premier of Ontario, who's just happens to be a crazy globalist lesbian. And the picture was the two of them sitting together. It looked like a gay pride parade. With Trudeau with a gay pride parade colors flag or something on his lap or napkin or not whatever. But he had the some kind of cloth with the colors, the rainbow colors across his lap, and he was looking at Kathleen Wynne, and I just stuck on that thing. What I see a dick and a dyke. And I threw that out to Trudeau's website, but I thought maybe that could get me sued, but never heard nothing. These people don't want to challenge because it's too easy to bring them out in the open if they come at you. So you don't have to worry about getting sued. You can say whatever you want to say about these people because, well, they're a cult and they're crazy, and they're puppets, and they don't want to get dragged out in the light, so they stay in the shadows. But anyway, so Tim Hortons, I called up their head office and had a nice long chat with them. And they start backtracking that what I saw on their website under their green link wasn't actually posted by them. No, you guys didn't actually post it, but you put an exterior link to this information. Okay, so somebody in your corporate headquarters tagged this in as a clickable link. Suzuki didn't put it there, and Victoria Serta didn't put it there. So I made a little wee clip, YouTube clip about Tim Hortons. Got a fair bit of airplay. If I can get anybody to stop going to Tim Hortons, then it will have accomplished something. So that's what we do. Anyways, did you know that Canada, I was up working on a friend's house yesterday, I told him, I said, hey Paul, did you know that Canada is warming twice as fast as the rest of the globe? Did you know that, Paul? And he looks at me, he goes, well, that ain't possible. Well, you know it's not possible, Paul, and I know it's not possible. But the media is sunk to such a low that anything's possible. They don't tell you, they said it suggests, a new study suggests that Canada is warming twice as fast as the rest of the globe. Well, it doesn't take anybody with much of an IQ to know that's not possible. But we're headed for Paris, boys and girls, and it's all about carbon taxing your sorry asses to the wall. So anything at this point that they puke out seems to be fair play. Now, they have I don't know if it's still here. This is the other reason I have to make another Tim Horton video, I guess, because on the Weather Network, and I've never been, this is the most amazing freaking place I ever seen. This Weather Network, I never seen such a crock of nonsense in my life. This is beyond stupid. This is propaganda on steroids. Anyways, coffee break question of the day, and it's paid for by Tim Hortons. It's the coffee break question of the day with a nice little Timmy Horton cup down here on the page. So it's sponsored by Tim Hortons, and it says, new report says Canada is warming at how many times the global rate? That's the question. Now, it's not just on the Weather Network. This stupid thing's all over the place. I'm so sick and tired of us in the West being called, water hogs and energy pigs and all the rest of it. Like, take your UN agenda and shove it where the sun don't shine, and take everybody that supports it and shove them. Put them on a rocket ship. Send them to Mars. Get them the hell off this planet. Anyways, the new report says Canada is warming at how many times the global rate? Well, I'm going to push at the same rate and see what we get. I have to get rid of some stuff here first before this will work. Let's see if it works now. Still doesn't work. Let me try again. I got all these blockers on my browsers here because I'm forever getting flogged by garbage, so I have to keep opening stuff. Okay, so did you know? It's not going to give me the poll. Is it going to give me the poll? Anyways, the people seem to be getting the right answer, which is twice as much as warming, twice as fast as the rest of the globe, because people see it in their newspapers, they see it on the TV, they see it on the Weather Network, and they say, you know, Canada's warming twice as fast as the rest of the globe. Then they put the question in, how many times, what's the rate of Canada's warming compared to the rest of the globe? And these people actually feel intelligent when they push the poll, you know, because they give you an option. But they've already told you the answer up 10 million times. So now somebody goes to the Weather Network and coffee break question of the day. Is it warming 1.5 times the global rate, 2 times the global rate, 3 times the global rate, or at the same rate? Well, let's see what the results are. I looked at this yesterday. Let's see what the results are today and see if they've changed. Yes, here it is. Here it is. This is how stupid people really are. I mean, how stupid are you? I'm so damn stupid, I believe that Canada is warming at twice the rate of as the rest of the globe. I'm that freaking stupid. Well, let's look at the results here. 14% say that Canada is warming at the same rate as the rest of the world, but the world isn't warming, period. So it's I don't know if you call that a trick question or just a how stupid are you question. 21% say it is warming at 1.5 times the global rate. This is cut off here. I can't read this part. So 2,656 people, 14%, believe it's warming at the same rate. 4,084, 21%, believe it's warming at 1.5 times the global rate. And are you ready for this number, folks? I'm embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed. Maybe them people were right way back in the 70s when I was a young guy and we were running a marketing outfit in Vancouver area and the island. And when I would be talking to people who happened to be Americans that moved to Canada, they were always telling me, well, what part of America are you from? I said, I'm not American. And they said, well, you can't be Canadian. I go, why is that? And they said, well, Canadians are really nice people, but they're the most docile people on the freaking planet. I mean, look around. And we're not trying to be smarter or anything, but look around. You cannot be a Canadian. You got way too much jam to be a Canadian. I kept hearing that crap. And, I when I was in my 20s, it kind of made me scratch my head a little bit, but I got what they were talking about. So 2 times the global rate. Canada's warming by 2 times the global rate of warming, which the planet ain't warming. So 2 times nothing, the answer should be nothing. But no, at 2 times the global rate, we have 10,332 people click 2 times. That's 54% of the respondents believe that Canada is warming at twice the global rate. That scares the hell out of me because that means that over 54%, over half the population, give or take, 1.3% or whatever they work these polls at, are dumber than a box of friggin' rocks. These are the same people setting up sponsorships to bring Syrian refugees in here by the thousands. The more the merrier. and people are waking up, but apparently on this particular poll, they still way sleeping. But what I kind of liked here was some of these. The comments are getting much better now. I'm finding that on other sites, other stupid sites like media sites, where they put a poll or question in, and people used to actually get in there and have a discussion, right-left discussion in this. But it's turned completely. The propaganda is past its shelf life, okay? It's a product that is way past its best before date. And so Frank here says, it will be a frosty day, where before I can trust any journalists, they seem to be making more of a point, making sure that they identify themselves, reporting from to make sure they can fluff up their resumes, yada, 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 yada. Before dismissing climate change out of hand, one person says you should read what journalists who have traveled to places where people are affected live are reporting. They talk to local residents about the changes they see and how these changes are affecting their livelihoods. It's all very well for you to sit in your comfortable houses and eat 3 meals a day. Some of these people, where'd that go? Some of these people are finding it difficult to feed themselves, and others are at the mercy of the sea, which is flooding over their homes and swallowing up the land. Deforestation is a big problem too, whatever the cause. Acres of trees are lost every year, and the effect is twofold. Instead of absorbing carbon, they release it, and wildlife is destroyed. See, there's somebody that probably voted 2 times. Dennis McDougall has a very simple response. Global warming is a farce. Then we have Fran, may be due to population increasing. Yes, kill that population off. Let's see here. Quoting Joseph Goebbels, I can understand that someone may choose to disbelieve what the majority of scientists are telling us, but to equate this scientifically supported position with, I guess that's supposed to say bullshit, is a bit much, don't you think? Don't worry about global warming. World War III is coming soon. The planet will be destroyed, says Lance. Actually, World War III started the day after World War II ended. And World War II, the specific reasons for World War II, as were the specific reasons for World War I, which failed, was to create 2 new entities. In World War I, it was called the League of Nations and Israel, and that failed, and because America didn't sign on, thank you very much for that. And but Americans got stupefied through the public school system between World War I and World War II, and pull out the same template, cause a massive depression, and crash the stock market, make everybody poor as hell, get a false enemy, and false crisis is always nice, and kick up World War II for the same reason as World War I, only this time in the end it was the United Nations and Israel that was created by World War II as planned way back before World War I. And World War II, or World War III, is a psychological, spiritual war which started the day after World War II ended, and that's a fact. And I will debate anybody that wants to debate that fact. I don't know how these scientists, these new priests, I don't know why people, but then people listen to the Catholic priests for like centuries. And, so now they're listening to the new priests, the scientists, even though as the Catholic priests were wrong most of the time. The same thing, this is the same template. The priests of the Catholic Church, the Vatican boys, the Jesuit boys, they would proclaim things and make decrees. And you're just supposed to believe them, regardless of how ridiculous whatever it was that they decreed or said. You were to listen to them and follow what they said and obey what they said. And now we have the same thing with don't ask any questions. That was always the thing. Just do as you're told, and everything will be fine. We're on top of this. We're the priests. We know. And so they switched over to the scientists, and you're not to question the scientists. We hear this over and over and over again. How dare you question the scientists? That's sacrilege. It's sacrilege maybe to the clowns that are pulling off the frauds, just like the Catholic Church, it was sacrilegious too. But reality states that these guys are criminals, just as the priests were criminals, because they're in the business of deception. Okay, and deception is fraud, and fraud is both illegal and unlawful. Legal and lawful being two totally separate entities, like oil and water that can't be mixed, but in the case of fraud, it is both illegal and unlawful. So I'm so sick of these people going, well, don't you believe the scientists? Are you a denier? No, I ain't a denier. I live in reality. You know, I mean, well, we got to save ourselves from climate change. Well, I don't know. We had to save ourselves some butter too, didn't we? And you looked at me crazy all those years, decades. You looked at me like I was nuts for eating butter. Well, you puked through margarine down your throat. You know, get some margarine. It's just like butter. Legal, definition of legal is similar to like but not law. Kind of like margarine and butter, isn't it? Law won't hurt you and butter won't hurt you, but by God, margarine will kill your ass, as will legal entrap and enslave you, because they're both deceptions, they're both frauds. One is not food and one is not law. Well, the scientists told us not to eat eggs. Really? Why would that be? Well, we're supposed to eat fake eggs. You know, they have eggs you can buy in the grocery store that look just like eggs, you know. And they got omega-3 and everything in them, and they're just like eggs. Well, they're not freaking eggs, you tools. Why do you think you got eggs? Why do you think you got butter? What do you think you got milk for? To nourish you. What is it they don't want you to be? Nourished. What do they want out of you? They want you sick. Why do they want you sick? So they can apply their pharmaceuticals against you. And who came up with the pharmaceuticals? Oh, I don't know. Would it be the scientists? Who came up with GMO foods? Oh, would it be the scientists? And I'm not supposed to run up against the scientists on this global warming, climate, CO2 bullcrap? Because they're scientists? I'll wipe the floor with them. These people are the new priests. They are as much of deceivers as the old priests. And they're leading you down a road just like the old priests did, of which you ain't going to be happy when you get to the destination. So do I have any respect for scientists or the scientific community? If I would put my marker above 0, I'd be lying. I have no respect for the scientific community, because the scientific community is in the process of deceiving and have been since they were created. Period. Now, you team up the scientists and the priests with the lawyers and the bankers. Now we got real trouble. We got a huge amount of trouble because they're all, I'm going to use the UN word here, interdependent on each other. None of them can survive without the other. Okay? Because they're all in the deception together. They build upon each other. So, you know, I was farting around on Facebook a little bit before the show, and like I just about throw up when I still see somebody, and I see still too much of it, people yammering on about who they're going to vote for in 2016, just how they were yammering on about who they're going to vote in 2015 up here in Canada land. And I see them stateside now babbling away constantly about who they're going to vote for in 2016. You can't vote. Okay? You cannot vote. You cannot vote. Get that through everybody's thick skulls. It's an impossibility for you to vote. You register your legal name to vote. You didn't register to vote. You can't register to vote. You live in a legal world created by the deceivers. Okay? It's not a lawful vote. It's a legal vote, and illegal is a fiction. You register your legal name, which is a fictional entity, which is created by the lawyers in order to enter you into their society, which is the law society, of which they create the rules and regulations of which you live by. So you can't vote. You, the man or woman, cannot vote. It's an absolute impossibility. The closest you can come to voting, you register the legal name, the legal title, the legal fiction, the legal entity, the corporate entity created by the lawyers. That's what you register to vote. When you go to the voting booth or the poll or whatever you want to call it, and you walk in there and you're going to get your little pen out and you're going to mark an X or something on who you want to represent you. Well, they can't represent you, and you can't vote for them. When you mark that ballot, that is simply you operating as an agent of the corporate entity, because, of course, the corporate entity, being a fiction, can't mark a ballot, nor can it register itself to vote. But the United States of America, Canada, Australia, Britain, and everywhere else on the frickin' planet is a corporation. Your president is CEO, your PM is CEO, and the rest of the people in the cabinet are the board members. Okay? They all take an oath to the state or the queen or the crown or the corporation. None of them take an oath to the people. No, none of them. Okay? They can't, because they themselves are corporate fictions. The state is a corporate fiction. You're real. Everything else is phony. But you don't get to play the game. Okay? You don't get to play the game. So when you mark that ballot, you're voting as an agent for what was registered. So you're the proxy. It's a proxy vote. It's a proxy corporate vote. It's all it is. So you can't vote. So why are you talking about who the hell you're going to vote for in 2016? Are you daft? Or do you believe that Canada is warming twice as fast as the rest of the globe? I mean, come on, people. So anyway, I put this post, and people, depending where you go, I guess, or who you're talking to, because Facebook is a total goofy spot, man. But anyways, I posted this today, and I actually got some reasonable feedback on it. Now, I couldn't have posted this a few years ago. It wouldn't have happened. People would not have put up with it. They'd have been all over me. But see, there's somebody else. Patty apparently likes my post, and We Are Change, which, of course, if you're calling yourself We Are Change, then you're still confused. Because the whole We Are Change thing is a globalist setup to gather up fools. Anyways, I just put this in here. Reality. Canada is a corporation, as are all countries. All elected politicians, judges, police, etc. are employees of the Queen Crown Corporation or state, depending on where you live, and do the bidding of. Canada, as are all countries, is also a member state of the UN and does its bidding. No one represents the actual men and women of this land or any other land. Legal is a system set up to deceive that has been very successful. Citizen means the same as subject. We live in a legal corporate fictional world created by lawyers. Legal is similar to, like but not law. And this is very important. Two words you won't find, and this is not about religion, people. Okay? I don't do religion. Okay? And people, when they're correct in one sense and incorrect in another sense when they're talking about, well, religion, caused most of the wars and killed gazillion people on the planet, so religion is bad. Absolutely. I'm with you on that one. Okay? But don't blame religion, because that's a deception, okay? It's a tool used to deceive, okay? So most people don't have a clue what religion is. So they end up blaming what was written about the creation called the planet, and tangle that up with religion. It's the same thing as tangling up legal and law. These things are tied together in order to confuse people, and they do a very good job of confusion. But anyways, two words you won't find in the King James Version of the Bible, which is I use that mainly because that's the one that the Queen took the oath on, and I believe it's the same Bible that the presidents and other prime ministers take their oath on. That's why I use that. Except now I understand that maybe Obama put the Quran on top of the Bible when he took his oath, and that's all part of the game here. It's a religious war, and again, it doesn't have anything to do with the Creator. It has to do with deception. Anyways, two words you won't find in the King James Version is legal and human. Two words you will find are and man. You also find a statement along the line of, if it's not identical, it doesn't matter, but the gist of it is, let no man deceive you. Well, we've been deceived big time, lied to since the day we were born, and we're registered as legal entities, making us citizen subjects to the corporation, where we continue to languish in a state of servitude. Because you're in a state of servitude in Canada. You can't be in Canada, again, it's a piece of paper, but in these so-called lands known as Canada, you are subservient, you are living in servitude, you are a subject citizen of the Queen Crown Corporation, and if you're living in America or somewhere else, you are living in servitude of the state. Okay, so that's a legal, fictional position, and these are all simple facts that were never taught to us in the public school system, which makes the public school system a fraud. Because we were deceived, because we weren't given any useful information. But then when you go back and you find the Prussian school system and why it was imported to the West, it was decided that this was a brilliant system of education, so to speak, because the Prussian system was used to take people, men and women, children, and turn them into useful products for the benefit of the state. Okay, human capital, legal capital, and that's where we've been for basically ever. So, the public school system did a wonderful job, the Prussian school system, that is, did a wonderful job of indoctrinating and screwing with people's heads and giving them no useful information from before World War I, but in particular after World War I, in order to set up World War II so that people would go and do the bidding of the state for the benefit of the state. Do you think it's at the benefit of your family to send your young people over to a war to be slaughtered? Of course not. But as an asset, as a human resource of a state, okay, it's no more than pouring gasoline into the truck or the plane that you're going to put your human resource into. They're all just resources, all to benefit the state. And you matter not, okay? You matter not. You mean nothing to these people. But we better start meaning something to each other, and that's what has to happen. We got to get back to being men and women, and that's the whole gist of it. We need to get back to being who we're supposed to be. Now, I just I got a call again today from Enos, who was over at Michael Schmidt's, the milk farmer, who'd been persecuted constantly for 20 plus years. And if I can find that story. Where did that go? I couldn't. I had such a hard time finding it earlier. He called me up, and I said, I can't even find that story when I Google it. And surely I didn't lose it, did I? Oh, here we go, I think. Nope. Where did I get to? Damn it. Anyways, so the gist of it, I guess, is that it was on the front page of the Owen Sound Sun-Times, and it is just basically more of the same thing, persecuting these good people who have a farm, who drink their milk and make butter and other foodstuffs, of the police charging them once again. And what they've done is they've picked out 5 people out of the 60 or so that was at the farm the day it got raided. And they weren't there at the farm until the word went out there was a raid going on, and then they came in from different places to show their support and back down the police. And there was no violence there. There was no. These people just stood their ground and said, "You're not leaving with our stuff," and forced the police. They didn't force the police. The police came to, and the ministry people came to the conclusion that it was probably best if they just unloaded the truck and left, which they did. And then just the other day, 5 of them, Michael Schmidt, Enos, Farmer George, and a few other people were charged with obstruction. And what they've done now is they made it some kind of a stupid rule that none of these people could go to the farm anymore. Michael can, he lives there. But the other people, Farmer George and Enos and 2 other guys, are not allowed to go to the farm because these are people who are not violent, but get what's going on. And they're trying to separate these people, separate them out from amongst the other people that were there to show that, because they know these are the strongest of the bunch, that if they continue to persecute them, that will put fear into the remainder of the people that were there. But again, that's past the best before date. Those people who may have been scared off 5 years ago will never be scared off now. Okay, the more you persecute these people, the more people that are coming out of the woodwork to support the people that are being persecuted because they get it. These are not banditos. These are good, honest, hard-working men who are sick and tired of being jerked around, and they're standing their ground. So this whole thing will end up backfiring on the so-called government, which, of course, is not a government. It is a corporation for the benefit of the corporation, and anybody that doesn't want to be corporate ruled will be persecuted. And, of course, that should be against the law, but you can't get this stuff into court because they have a little gate there that you can't get through. Even if you were to bring charges against the so-called state, because you do have the right to bring a private prosecution to the court. You can put your claim in, and it goes before a justice, and if the justice sees that there is enough evidence to bring it forward, then it's his duty to bring it forward. And so now you're having your private prosecution. That's wonderful news, but when I spoke to the Attorney General's office, one of the lawyers about this in depth, and got into the actual paperwork, well, it does say that you do have the right to bring forward a private prosecution, and if the justice sees there's merit, then it goes forward, and that sounds good to so far. But as you go down the page, you see, as you see so much in so-called government documents, there's an out for these guys, and that is that the Crown gets involved in it, and the Crown decides whether or not bringing this particular charge forward or claim forward is in the best interest of the public. Now, who are they protecting? Well, the judges, the lawyers, and the politicians and the police are all employees of the corporation or the state. So it's not likely in their best interest to bring this forward. So while it says it's a private prosecution, it becomes a not private prosecution once the Crown gets involved in it, making it impossible to have a private prosecution. So this is the problem, or one of the problems that everybody's having up here. But then they're lawyers. What do you want? You know, the lawyers and the bankers, they complement each other, and because they're both part of the corporation, and one needs the other in order to exist. So we continue to have these prosecutions going on and persecutions going on. Meanwhile, we've opened the doors. These people can't, what are they doing exactly that's so evil? Let's see. They have a farm, and they milk a cow, or milk a bunch of cows, and then they drink the milk and make other products out of the milk, like cheese and whatnot, which is what you do with milk, by the way. But the so-called government, who has a monopoly on force, they do have the monopoly on force, and they also have the monopoly on milk. No one can distribute milk without a license. Nobody can drink milk unless it's been pasteurized, unless it's your own milk and coming out of your own cow, which it is in this case, but the government doesn't like that. So they keep the persecution going. And the problem is that, they're like I was talking to Michael's wife, and I said, you got to lose that name raw milk, because that's what the government is saying. You're distributing raw milk. Well, you're not distributing raw milk. These people, you're not distributing it willy-nilly. It's in-house. Only people that have shares in the farm can have the milk. And as much as I like raw milk, I can't go, call up Michael and say, can I have some raw milk? He can't do it. Not the way they've got their system set up. So it's all in-house. It's not being distributed willy-nilly. Hey, buddy, you want to buy some milk? People in raincoats. This is what the so-called government is trying to put forward in their propaganda. These evil people are standing outside of schools and places. Hey, you want some real milk? Come here. This kind of crap. But the fact of the matter is that you gotta understand these lawyers in that. You see, they're saying, well, he's distributing raw milk. Well, he's not distributing anything, and it's not raw milk. It's milk. See, anytime you add a word to something, you change the meaning of it. What comes out of a cow or a goat? Milk. That's what comes out, milk. It's not pasteurized milk, and it ain't raw milk. It's simply milk. So then they try and charge him. They're saying that he's operating a plant without a license. Well, obviously he's not operating a plant because he's not manufacturing anything. Okay? He's milking a cow, and what comes out of the cow is milk. So there's no plant involved in it. But then when you go to the legalese side of this thing, to the Milk Marketing Board, the people that have the monopoly on the distribution of milk, in fact, they're not distributing milk at all. Okay? Because they're distributing a product that was milk, and then they changed it into something else. So he's really not, it's not milk. You are not getting milk at the grocery store. So the province is obviously in breach of least trust. They're definitely guilty of false advertising, and so on and so forth. So it's all got to do with the lawyers and people have to come to grips with that idea because it was the lawyers that stopped you from being you. They took you away from you. You cannot buy or sell. You cannot sue or be sued. You cannot buy or sell property. You really can't do anything. You can't work. Okay? You can't work. You have never had a paycheck. I don't care how long you've been working. You have never had a paycheck. I got my paycheck. No, you didn't get your paycheck because you ain't working. Well, what do you mean I'm not working? Of course I'm working. I get up every frickin' day and drive to work and work. Yes, but you're not recognized as the one working. Okay? You're simply an agent of what is working, and the worker is actually your fictional entity, your legal person. That's who's working. That's who's getting paid. Okay? Not you. You can't do it. If you throw away all of your government identification and all of your government paperwork, all your legal paperwork, which is corporate paperwork, if you throw all that away and you denounce it and you say, I'm the man, are you hiring? Well, no, we can't hire a man, or we can't hire a woman. We can only hire an agent representing the legal man or woman. But you, the physical man or woman, we can't hire. It's an impossibility in this system that's set up. And it's set up to deceive you. And it has deceived most. It deceived me for the longest time. But once you're not deceived anymore, you're not deceived anymore, and you can't be deceived once you're not deceived. Once you see the deception, understand the deception, then you can't be deceived any longer. And that causes all kinds of trouble, because the state depends on the deception. Without the deception, they can't operate. Without the deception, they have no power over you. So it is in their interest to make sure that anybody that sees the deception is persecuted. So you basically become a political prisoner in your own land, on your own lands, because, they're beating up on these people that are simply drinking milk. That's a huge problem. But bringing in hundreds or 25,000 and 100,000 unscreened or lightly screened or semi-screened migrants and immigrants that were blasted out of their homelands on purpose so that they could create this wall of immigration, this wave coming at us of Muslim descent to come in here to start the next religious wars. Okay? And that's what they're doing. So, you say, well, who are we going to vote for? Well, you can't vote for anybody, and regardless of who you vote for, who you represent to vote for, it doesn't matter, because they don't represent you. They represent the state, and the state is a member state of the UN, set up by the very globalists that you probably don't like too much. And whoever is sitting at the head, whoever's king of your castle, is going to do the bidding of the United Nations, which is this huge spiderweb conglomerate of the lawyers and the bankers and the NGOs and your politicians, your police. What does the Vatican do? What does the Catholic Church do? They have two masses, right? A red mass for the politicians and a blue mass for law enforcement. Okay, just think about that for a minute. And who's running your life? The politicians and the police. The politicians write the corporate rules and regulations, and the police enforce them. Well, then who the hell owns your government? Your so-called government sounds to me like the Vatican. We got to get back to the lands. We got to get back to man and woman. You know, somebody was putting stuff in today about, there's a petition going around in BC, I think it is, British Columbia, where they want to repeal the law that the state disallows a family, a mother or father, from spanking their child. You know, and I had it right, and I said, well, it's not your child. Your child belongs to the state, and the state makes the rules and regulations. When you registered your child, okay, the child went to the state. So the state tells you can't spank your child. The state's not telling you can't spank your child. The state's saying you can't spank our child. And, you know, when you chat with some of these people, they go, it's like a light going off in their head. They're going, aha, now I get it. Well, that's wonderful. So, you know, it's a great time to be alive, man. It is a really interesting, beautiful time to be alive. Nobody has to be fearful of these clowns that are running, that have deceived us all these years. There are two things they can't stand. One is the light. Because when you shine the light, truth rises. And they can't deal with either one. They can't operate in the light, and they can't handle truth. Both of them destroy them. And so our job is simply keep talking, keep teaching, and keep shining that damn light on them. And then we're going to take back our lands, and we're going to get rid of these dumbass lawyers. We're going to get rid of these legal fictions, and we're going to live as we were meant to live as men and women upon the earth, okay, who have dominion over the earth, not the freaking corporations, not the corporate governments, not the lawyers, not the bankers, but the people. Then we got a world again that isn't in danger, imminent danger of mass collapse because of CO2 or any of these other nonsensical things they bring forward. So, you know, if you know a scientist that wants to come on air and bleat about why we should believe scientists, by all means, get them to get a hold of me or tell me how to get a hold of him or her, because I would have a lot of fun doing that. And I'm not going to yell at them. The whole idea is to basically re-educate them, I suppose, into a position of reality. And because the scientists, for the most part, don't have a clue what they're doing. They came up through a system, a public school system, that told them things that, again, they, like most people, didn't question. And so we have to help them understand the deception that has been applied upon their lives as well. And then we can all get together and turn this ship right side up and sail free while we're on this planet. And you will find that the wars and the poverty and the pestilence and all the rest of that shit will basically disappear because it's all made up. None of it's natural. None of it's real. I mean, it is real when they're bombing the snot out of real people. But the fact is that the entire system is a fairy tale. We need to get our feet back on the ground, back in reality. Anyways, that was Quick Hour for me. I want to thank you for listening. UCY, Jules, people in the chat, and people who are just listening. And I guess my next shot at this alternative media thing is Saturday night at Revolution Radio from midnight, and then Sunday right back here on UCY. Hey, thank you everybody for listening, and let's go get it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.